Welcome everyone to the Cha Effect. We're happy you're here to join us on our very first episode and show. And so we hope that you'll like what you see. And to begin with, we're gonna start this episode about who we are, who is Cha, and who am I, and who is this other person next to me.
Well, hey everyone.
Yes, there's John. And well, my name is Andrew Huynh, and I am a founding partner with Cha Business Solutions. I've been in the IT industry for over 23 years, and starting with working in support for a variety of different clients in the air transportation industry. From that point, then moved into consulting in the Microsoft space primarily. And I spent the last 14 plus years in that space, working specifically around productivity technologies like SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive in the Microsoft 365 suite. I worked in a variety of different industry in consulting that ranges from finance, oil and gas, a variety of different types of state and local government, retail, and so forth. I had my hand in a variety of different industries that made it fun. Some were interesting, some definitely takes a little bit of getting used to. Wore a lot of different hats in a variety of these projects that I did. A lot of them were project-based. And so one of the things that I love about the job was the ability to work with so many different clients and be able to understand what they need. And every time you finish a project, you move on to a new one, and it's like starting a new job. And every time that happens, you get to learn new things. So that's one of the great parts, and that's something that has kept me very excited about what we do in the technology. So that's a little bit about myself. I'm also based in the Dallas area, in the DFW, as we call it, Dallas-Fort Worth. Been here also over 20 plus years. And love it. Used to be from California, but Texas is home now, and it's been great here. So I'm going to pass over to my partner, John.
Thanks, Andrew. My name is John Culpepper. I am the other founding partner of Cha Business Solutions. So welcome everyone to the Cha Effect, which we're going to talk everything about the intersection of business and technology, all of the wonderful new technologies that are the emerging technology, as well as some legacy technology that we are helping small, medium businesses to evolve to the benefit of their business, and just to help businesses in different industry segments to grow and continue to have a leg up on their competition. And a little bit about myself. I was born in Vietnam. I came over when I was 6 years old to the United States, immigrated over with my parents and my grandpa. We settled in Houston, Texas, and I grew up there. So, but then I quickly left Houston when I could to come to Dallas, and I've for college, and I've stayed in the Dallas, Texas area for the better part of my life. From an IT perspective, I've been in the industry for well over 20 years. The large part of that was in the biopharmaceutical space, leading IT teams, really building them up from scratch. From anywhere from the research and development part to G&A, all the way to preparing for the commercial launch of a new drug product. So really heavily in that space, but also earlier on in my career, kind of delve into a lot of the healthcare space, hospital systems, business intelligence, data warehousing was really my strong suit there. But I've really done a lot of the different roles. Started out on the help desk, supporting 15 plus healthcare, financial, and decision making applications. Also have a background in real estate. And all of the different real estate technologies as well. So really interesting stuff there, at least to me. And but the reason why I kind of share some of that stuff is that really. In IT, in the trend today, there's a lot of focus on hyper specialization, to hone your craft and stuff like that, I think is completely necessary. But I also think that there's also a generalist track where you're able to pick up all of the different roles, um, because of what's needed at that time. What's needed, to help, with your team, to help with the mission of the team. And so I basically kind of went along and, pick up various roles. So anyway, enough about me. So Andrew, we talked about the cha effect. What does that mean?
Well, John, before we go into the chaw effect, you forgot to mention one thing that you do with a stick all the time. Wave it around. What is that? What do they call that?
Well, the stick is actually called baton, and and yes, and I also founded. One of my passions is in music, specifically classical choral music, and I actually founded a professional chamber ensemble called the Dallas Chamber Choir. It's a professional group that, of singers that put on concerts and, performances, and we're actually on, social media and on Spotify and other streaming, music platforms. And so yeah, that's one of my passions. And interestingly, I mean, that could be a potential, topic of of interest of there's people think that those are two completely very different or dissimilar, disciplines, but I would beg to differ because there are lots of, both creative as well as systematic, elements that, I was able to, cross pollinate and be able to synergistically, kind of move in those various disciplines to be able to have a very interdisciplinary type of role, of purview, into operating in various spaces. But anyway, so yeah, so there's a lot of, so that really kind of bleeds into, from a technology bent, a lot of ways in which we can be very creative and very synergistic and very holistic about how we approach a problem or a potential, or an opportunity, where we look at things in a very 360 view.
Yeah. Well, good. So next time, John, maybe you bring the baton and use that.
That's my shtick.
No, exactly. So you mentioned earlier about the what is the Chaw effect, right? And so has it been the name of our show? The Chaw effect is something that John and I, when we first formed Chaw, is to kind of differentiate ourselves and what that represent. And so the Chaw effect is really kind of a culmination of our experience of what we have accumulated over the years and what we want to be able to really provide to our clients and provide to folks that we work with, because it's something that is kind of intrinsic to who we are and something that I think as people see what we do for them, that it provides them a way to feel that confidence that we're able to provide solutions and that we care about the work that we do. And so that child effect is really kind of what comes from that is all those years of what we have accumulated and bring to you. So that's really, yeah, that's really kind of in a nutshell. And Johnny, if you want to add a little.
Yeah, I was thinking, so Andrew comes from a consulting background, and, he sits across the table from, people like me in the day when we were working, together in a different, capacity. I actually, hired, Andrew's company to come and really, provide that expertise in a particular technology in SharePoint in the Microsoft space. And, it's not just the expertise, but also the bench strength and the experience, in that space to bolster, my internal, team. I was running an IT department, and we had a lot of things going on, as most IT directors and CIOs would know. You have your operations, which take up so much of your time and effort and attention. And so when you take on, big, I would call them infrastructure, but really transformational projects to move from, SharePoint on premise to the cloud. At that point, that was like 10 plus years ago. And that was a huge lift for us in many ways. Effectively, it has a lot of those startup pains in terms of just the different IT lifts that we needed. And so we needed that capacity. We really need that expertise and capacity. And so um, when we're sitting across the table between the consultant and the client, and I've seen this, being on the client side, so many times we sit across the table from other vendors or other consultants, and there's just a lack of care. If I can just kind of, go straight to the heart of the matter, just in terms of looking at a solution or a problem or a situation, being able to ask the broader implication questions, right? It's like, okay, if you implement this, what are the parameters, or what are the business drivers, or operationally, how would that affect your operations? How would that affect your workflow? How would that affect the way that you look at or solve a particular problem, and things like that. And usually the consultant or the vendor would be more or less an expert of their product, you hope, but they don't go beyond that, or they don't really ask the probing questions. And so with Andrew, it was different, right? He had a different approach, and I really appreciated that in terms of asking probing questions, demonstrating that you care, because when companies ask for and depend on consultants, they depend on that broad level set of skills and of thought process that they bring to the table to help them to be a business partner, to be a strategic business partner, to think very strategically across the technology stacks and across their business problems, right? Because if you're having issues with a particular area, it may bleed into other areas. It may not, but you have to ask the question. You have to consider that within the landscape. Andrew?
Yeah. So John, in the long version of the Chaw effect, that's really what we are. And so now that you know a little bit about who John and I are, we want to talk about how we came about with Chaw. But John, if you can bring up the slide, we can kind of go through here and just mention a few points here to kind of give you an idea about what we are at a glance. So Chaw Business Solutions, and Chaw actually is a representation of myself and John. So it actually is our names in the Chaw part, and so that represents who we are. And so we want to incorporate who we are into the work we do. And so, as John mentioned, definitely the care factor is a big piece of it. We wanted to incorporate that, and so the Chaw effect definitely has a lot of it, caring about what we do, the work that we do, the type of things we do for our clients, and also how we work with our own resources and our employees and our network of resources, because those are also important, and they are representative of who we are as a company and what we want to do to really help provide for our clients. And so from a high level, and I'm just going to touch on a few of these points, but Chaw Business Solution, in essence, we are a full service technology firm. We work in a variety of different types of technologies that we provide to our clients. We are based primarily in the DFW or the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We do have also offices or satellite locations in Las Vegas and Houston. So those are kind of our places where we have for purpose for connectivity from and for meeting purposes from as well.
And administrative purposes. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Now, myself and John, as you heard earlier, we both have 20 plus years experience. So cumulatively, we have over 40 years of experience in the IT space as partners of this company. And of course, the folks that we work with, our resources, or network of technologists, evangelists, and whatnot, they also come with years and decades of experience as well. So we really work with folks that would work on projects with years of experience. So they're very passionate about their skills, their craft, and so are we. I mean, we come with a lot of years of experience in the technology space.
Andrew, can you talk a little bit more about that passion? Because I think that when people talk about IT and stuff like that, that's not really a passionate topic. It's like, it's very technical, it's very dry, it's very,
yes,
okay, what can you do for me kind of thing. But I mean, yeah, talk a little bit about that, because, within our years of just being in the industry, we form lifelong partnerships and friendships with exceptional leaders and exceptional experts in their field, and who come extremely passionate about, how to solve problems, not just within technology, but it's like, how do you make the technology really, provide businesses a leg up on the competition?
Yeah, I know. Great point, John. Yeah, I mean the passion for technology is something that the folks that work in the industry and including ourselves and the folks that we work with, they bring the passion because they enjoy it. They enjoy learning new things about technology, about how it can help people, how can it help a business be more efficient, or to help a business to optimize on something that they've been doing very manually or whatnot. And so that passion bleeds into their love to help a client, and also that really is something that we as a company, when we talk about passion, about caring, it's something that, because we really do enjoy the work that we do, and the folks that we work with and the clients that we want to work with are those that really look at technology as a way to really help them. And so our passion is to help people. We want to solve problems, we want to provide solutions, and we want to give clients a way to do better, to grow and be successful. And when clients are successful, we're successful as well, because then we feel satisfied that we have helped and addressed a need and be able to keep doing that. And so that's the passion that we bring to the industry and to what our work and to the clients that we work with is we love what we do. I mean, it's really just kind of one of those things that, we enjoy. We just enjoy the work. Like John enjoyed, waving the stick around, or the baton, I mean, and I enjoy actually, travel and try all kinds of new food. So those are passions that we take seriously because we enjoy it. And so we do the same thing with the technology and the people that we work in with there. So, hopefully that answered the passion part of it, and also the why we care. I mean, we definitely love working with technology, and that's something that I think is just intrinsic to who we are. So we want to bring that passion with us. Yeah, I'll cover a couple of things here as well. So one of the things that, being in the state of Texas, and as a small company and a minority company as well, is that, we would like to work in a variety of different spaces. And one of the spaces that we love to work in and starting to work in is in the state and local government. And so one of the things that we have looked to do to be able to help us to do that is to be certified in a variety of different types of certifications. Some are at the state level, and others are for different types of entities that may have state or local government tie-ins. And so what we have listed here as certifications are some of the ones that we have accomplished or achieved in the past year. And that allows us to be able to work with other potential partners or with clients that have those as requirements. And so that helps us really to be a strong partner, and a partner that gives us a chance to work with them.
And I think that really rounds out our portfolio of not only servicing businesses in the private sector, but also in the public space, right? Where our clients come from everywhere, every industry. And, that really touts our versatility in the various industry segments, and just different entities and different ways of thinking and operating, especially in a highly a regulated environment. Like I said earlier, I was in biopharma, and that's a highly regulated environment. Andrew has worked for financial companies in fintech, and that's a highly regulated environment. And so we feel right at home in either a startup shop to very mature and businesses, industries that are extremely highly regulated.
Things besides looking at working in the state and local government, we're also registered to work as a federal contractor as well. And so that allows us to be able to work with clients down the road in that space. And the last thing is that we have a big passion to work with private industry. So I mean, for us, we can work across a variety of different industries based on the type of work we've done, like pharmaceutical, oil and gas, retail, energy, or excuse me, education. And so there's a lot of things that we like to do there. And so we love to work with clients that are in different industries because we do bring a lot of expertise and experience in those industries to the table. And we have a lot of folks that have also worked in a variety of industries. And so, in general, we just want to work with you. So if you have a need and you need good experience, resources, and also a team that can work with that, then definitely look to Child Business Solutions. We love to be able to bring our passion and the caring that we to our project, and have the chance to work with you. So, and this one kind of comes to mind, and it's been one that is very. It's always been there. It's one of those things that everyone thinks about, but it's really the topic around looking at the value or the business outcome value from your spending. Because everybody's gonna always think about like, well, how do I maximize my spend on technology? Because technology really is prevalent in every business. You need technology in some form or fashion to be able to do your business, especially looking to grow and to scale and whatnot. And so the one thing that that comes to mind for us a lot is how do we help clients or how do we look at business? The value that comes out of these spending and the business value from that. So, John, since you worked in an internal company before, what is your take on kind of that feel of like, you have a budget, you got to see how much that budget can take you throughout the year. What are the things you have to think about? So, what are some of the thoughts you had when you had to go through that process of value from your budget?
Yeah, so a couple things come to mind, right? The first and foremost is if you are starting a company today, I don't care if it's a brick and mortar company or just a purely internet virtual based company or a hybrid of sorts, your business can be set up in the cloud and set up very quickly with ease and a lot of all of the bells and whistles of automation, of data management, document management, all of that very, very quickly. So I would invest in looking at cloud technologies from the jump, right? Because I think that's square one, is looking at start there, because that's where the industry is. That's where a majority of businesses are. If not there, they are, really trying to get there, or all of their business or a large part of the business there. And then I would break it into like various components. Like, there's infrastructure components, and then there are enterprise level of technologies that, when I talk about enterprises, like, all of the lines of businesses use. You're talking about like data management, document management, things like that. These are the fundamental systems within the company, and then on top of that is looking at your various lines of businesses in terms of what are the tool sets that marketing will absolutely need to not only produce the assets or work with a creative agency to be able to produce those assets. And how do obviously when assets are produced, you have to store, categorize, and then there's a whole life cycle there. But then but then also looking at the different capabilities that you need to be able to have that department really function and thrive, right? And then kind of like the top layer is those specific technologies that you can go into performance management. You can look at competitive analyses and things like that are more industry specific. And there are services out there. And so really from our perspective is, where are you in this, and where are you in the timeline of your business? What are the areas that you need the most help in terms of business drivers, in terms of key technologies that's going to help move the needle for your business? Or is it a line of business that's needing help in terms of a particular technology, or is it the entire enterprise space?
And here's and just to add on to that, just from the factor that as far as business outcome values and whatnot, one of the things, and we're a big proponent of that, being ourselves a small business and going through the process and how to maximize the value, make sure that we have a successful business. A lot of it has to do with looking at what kind of ways you can address. And so John mentioned around the cloud technology, going to a cloud type of a place to maximize the value from there, because definitely you get a lot of these technologies like the Microsoft 365 platform provides a lot of value for the money, and it's something that you can get up quickly and get you up and running and give the ability to run your business, getting your emails, getting access to the ability to do internal communications with audio video, collaboration and whatnot. But one thing too that we advocate a lot, and that we ourselves do, is the ability to look at as part of that is, especially if you're growing your business, is how to maximize the ability to do modern work. So modern work may be a scenario where if you have a physical location, that's great. And you make use of it. But if you have folks that you want to get that could be in other locations, or the ability to provide them to the ability to work remotely, that's also a way to maximize your value there. Because if you can get the best resources for your company, and they could be wherever, that's really kind of more the value you can get from that. And they can work and they can use the technologies that are available to them anywhere. That's something that I think is also valued. That's something that, as we consult and work and advise clients, that helps them to really understand how to maximize from that. So things that allows you to be able to do work anywhere, be able to access the technologies, the applications, the solutions anywhere. Those are things that give you a lot of value, more bang for the buck. Of course, as with anything, if you already have some legacy systems and whatnot, whether or not those are like on-prem or not, yeah, you do have to do some pros and cons. So it's not a quick transition. It does take some time to transition, especially if we have, data centers that you're realizing, like, how do we get off of that? Well, you do have to do some pros and cons and think about it to justify the cost before you do it. A lot of times you see the value in what you get going to the cloud and providing people with the ability to work in various locations does open up a lot more possibilities and maximize that value. And, John and I, when we formed the company, the one big thing we had besides care, passion, is to look at value. Value is a very important piece of the goal that we want to provide to our clients. We look at value as something that you see that is valuable to you, and that's something that we can then provide to you. The numbers definitely drives towards that, and it's something that we want to make people realize. Like, yeah, if you look at, because when you go to the store, for example, do you go and look at how long it takes for that piece of steak to be made? No one looks at it in the hours that it took to make that. You look at the value of what that steak is, the cost of what that's there, and you justify whether or not that makes sense for you to purchase. And so that's how we want to look at it when we work with clients and provide value, is for them to also look at what's the value that they're trying to hit. And so if we can also align with that, to that value, then that's really important for us, because that gives us the ability to bring innovation, bring the ability to bring the care, the passion, and provide that value that they're looking for. So that's something that's important. And I think, as a whole, is really something we're passionate about doing with our clients. And, when we have a chance to work with any kind of client and they are looking at as a focus, the value that, they're going to get, that's what we want to help. Yeah, great. Well, John, I think that wraps up our current trends topics for this episode. And so, we'll come back with new trends, and we'll talk about that in our opinion. Whether you agree or disagree, that's something that we love to hear back from you.
Yeah. So if you like what you hear, and you want to find out more about us, please like, subscribe, share this video. It's going to be in this podcast. It's going to be available on all of your big streaming platforms. So yeah.
Yes, and we would like you to come back and watch more, and hopefully you like what you've heard.
And if you have topics that you want us to cover, and also we're going to bring on experts within our field to talk about various topics. We have an exciting lineup of fantastic people and personalities and experts that will cover a range of topics. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but definitely if you have something on your mind or what your business is struggling with, leave it in the comment section, and we will definitely look into incorporate that into future episodes.